Well, tomorrow's the big day, Super Tuesday. Nearly 1/4 of all Republican delegates are on the line. And right now, well, it's all out brawl. Donald Trump and Senator Marco Rubio both on the attack. The two candidates stepping up the insults, with some sounding more like a schoolyard fight than a presidential election.
He doesn't sweat. He doesn't sweat because his pores are clogged from the spray tan that he uses. Donald is not going to make America great. He's going to make America orange.
When you're up 20 points in Florida, we're up. The guy, they hate him in Florida. He can't be elected dog catcher in Florida. This guy, you know, I call him Little Marco. He's a nice guy.
2016 GOP presidential candidate Senator Marco Rubio goes on the record from Conway, Arkansas. Good evening, sir.
Thanks, Greta. Thanks for having me back.
Senator, I admit that I laugh when I probably shouldn't have, but this is beginning to sound more like SNL than it is a presidential race. You say things like those tacky ties, man with small hands, spray face, con artist, spray tan. That's a change in the tone of your campaign from earlier times, is it not? That's the first question. The second is, what do you say to your kids?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Donald Trump has spent a year now insulting virtually everyone, including people that work at your network, virtually everyone. I mean, there's very few groups or individuals in America that he hasn't personally insulted. So every now and then someone like that needs a taste of their own medicine, because that's called a bully, and he's using the pulpit of the presidency or of the presidential run to insult people. But that's not the core of our message. 99% of what I speak about from the day I began this campaign are about serious ideas and serious issues, and I'm still doing that now. On the issue of con artists, that I won't stop saying. Donald Trump is indeed a con artist. He conned the students at Trump University. Even, for example, Greta, I know that he went off the record with the New York Times, and he told them what he really believed about immigration, which apparently is not the same as what he's telling audiences. Donald Trump should give the New York Times permission to release the audio of that interview.
So do you feel comfortable with the tone of it? Because it is a departure. I mean, like, do you say to your kids, you're just fighting back to a bully? Is that what you say?
Yeah, no, what I say is we've tried to make this campaign about issues. I continue to make it about issues. I talk about issues all the time. Fortunately, no one ever covers issues these days very much. That's why Donald has gotten 10 times as much coverage as anybody else, because he's always insulting people and saying outrageous things. It's funny, you know, the media spends a lot of time covering those insults he's been laying out throughout the last year. I'm going to continue to talk about ideas. My website is full of ideas. I go to the debates and discuss specific ideas. Donald Trump does not have a specific idea about any policy before America, and yet somehow he's convinced a significant percentage of Republicans that he should be the next president. We're not going to let that happen. There is no way we're going to let a con artist get control of the Republican Party or the conservative movement.
And I should tell you, I've heard other candidates say all along, since way back in the summers, that we tend to cover more of the colorful language than we do some of the substance issues on the campaign trail. So, you know, that you're not the only one who has said that about us in the media. One thing you did say, though, about Donald Trump is that he's a con artist who should not get access to nuclear codes. That, to me, was a particular... You really believe that? That, I mean, that you know, whether he should be, I know you don't want him as president, but he shouldn't have the nuclear codes.
Absolutely. He's dangerous. He has dangerous views about the world. This is a person who says he's not going to stand on Israel's side. He has not even a fundamental understanding of the defense needs of this country. He didn't know what the nuclear triad was. He has no understanding of our Asia-Pacific defense relationships. I mean, he's shown zero interest whatsoever in the specific details. This stuff matters.
Are you saying he doesn't know it, or that he's dangerous? Those are two different things.
Well, I'd say both. I say he doesn't know it, and I think he has dangerous views. Yesterday he was talking about how firm the Chinese government is, as if that's something to look up to. He's talked about his admiration for Vladimir Putin as a strong leader. He was repeating tweets yesterday from Benito Mussolini. He refused to condemn the KKK. He's been now given multiple opportunities to condemn the Ku Klux Klan, and he refuses to do so, and he pretends he doesn't know who David Duke is. He knows who David Duke is. He's talked about him before.
Let me ask you about some of my sort of issues I'm particularly interested in. Dr. Elfrida helped the CIA find Osama bin Laden. He's rotting in a prison in Pakistan. We seem to have left him behind. If you become president, is that going to be on? I mean, is there anything you can do to help bring this man to the United States? Because he really did help us.
Yeah, we'll make it a priority of our relationship with Pakistan. And in fact, I've raised that issue personally with Pakistan's foreign minister. I've raised it personally with their ambassador corps in meetings that we've had over the last couple of years. This is an individual who was of assistance to the U.S. in learning information about that. Somehow they found it out, and they've stuck him in jail. Now the Pakistanis are arguing that he's there for charges unrelated whatsoever to the bin Laden raid. We know that that's not true, and it undermines our ability to work with foreign nationals around the world. I would absolutely make that a priority.
And there's a former FBI agent, Bob Levinson, 2007, disappeared in Iran. We got some of our hostages back. We have no information for the Levinson family. They're left in mystery. Is there anything you would do differently than this administration to get information for the Levinson family?
Well, we've been involved in that issue, and I want to be careful about what we say about it. Suffice it to say that I am convinced that Iran knows where Bob Levinson is or has been. They know what happened to him at a minimum. And I think that should have been part of the conversations that were being had here, even if we weren't going to have nuclear or we weren't going to have this deal with Iran. That should have been a priority. I think it's outrageous that he's not one of the that was mentioned. But I want to be careful in discussing that because it's an issue that also is very close in Florida. Bill Nelson and I have kept a close eye on that issue over the last few years. I do want to say that it's amazing that even after Iran has released these prisoners, they've just taken more Americans hostage again. In essence, this is now a game. They know that there's a president in Barack Obama who will make concessions in return for American hostages. In the last week, they've just taken another American hostage and is sitting in that Evan prison.
Senator, thank you very much. I say to all the candidates, good luck tomorrow. It's a big day tomorrow. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Greta.